Here we go. So, using the brand new setup now, actually, believe it or not. As you can see, we jump around a little bit there. But we're live, and we're going to wait for Joe to join us. But I'm from Jersey. All right, Matty Groves obviously here. Yes, don't worry, of course, the stream was on time today, I think. 6:15 is near 20 past now, but it's a brand new setup. As you can see, I've got a lot more brightness now. Girlfriend got me this thing for my birthday, so it's Monday. So I'm now using this. So this is a brand new kit that is now on the channel. Yeah, as you can see, my phone is in this place. I've got a bright light above my head. And it's actually pretty cool, people. You know, I'm just going to waffle for a little bit before Joe turns up. But I'll show you some little things. All right. Look at this. Have a little VIP party. If you want to have a little VIP party. Look, good lights. You can turn itself down. See, look, this could be like without the light on. With the light on, people. It's booming. We are super, super bright. Here, so I'm just choosing what light I want. I'll go for that one. Listen, I'll go for that one. It's just blinding myself. Sam McNeil, all right, mate. And is my phone on charge? It's not on charge. I've just charged. It's now on 100% charge, and I'm watching the Notts County Barnet game whilst I'm waiting for Joe to turn up. Listen, everyone, you know, send any questions as soon as Joe does arrive. There he is. I'm joining this show. Joe, don't worry, mate. I'll get you in now. Invite a guest. Invite guests to the broadcast. So I've got a copy to clipboard, not a problem. Send this link to your guest email so I'll share the instructions. Okay, let me see if I'm going to send you it. Give me a second, Joe. Okay. Right, Joe, if Joe needs to, oh, there we go. Joe, go into your Facebook Messenger. It's all on there, basically. And as soon as you hit that link, you will be in the stream, and it'll just boom, it'll power you on. So if you want to get set up properly, never had a guest on here before. That's what I'm saying before. Never ever had a guest. This is the first time I've been using one. And as you can see from the title on the video, season review. I want to pull myself down a little bit though, because I don't feel. There we go. I was a bit high up in the budget to see it wobbles like crazy, this setup. All right, Red Dog. It's so much easier for me. I can just sit here now. My phone is just literally floating away on this stand, and it's much more easy for me to read all the comments right in front of me now. No more than I have to do that and look down. You see everything behind me. Not kind of going to look, by the way. And I say 14 people watching. Joe, here we go, guests. So now Joe will be joining us. Yes. So here we go.
Yeah, brother.
There we go. All right, Joe.
How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Right, people, this is obviously Joe from Jersey. Massive Boro fan. He reached out to me. I don't think I want to say reached out. We talk all the time about the Boro, and Joe loves the Boro bits like I do. And this is a long time coming.
Long
time.
time.
You, to be fair, you're not moving on the camera. It's froze, people say.
Yeah, you.
Okay, so what's that?
You froze. I don't know about me. Have I froze?
Am I all right now? Am I okay? Can you see me?
Yeah, you're moving a little bit. You're lagging a bit.
Yeah, listen, I lag like crazy. My internet's terrible. But as long as you can hear me.
I can hear you, brother. I can hear you, mate. I can hear you.
Yeah. So me and Joe were basically talking and basically said to people, you know, send in your comments, send in any questions as well, because for me personally, this is the first time I've ever had a Boro fan really break down the season from a different country. You could say, I mean, Joe practically is a different country. So you can board a plane to go to his house. So you technically say, you know, it's a bit of a different country. It looks like someone Geordie Shaw. Yeah, he does a little bit. Listen, like Joe looks after himself. I'm going to explain a little bit of background, Joe, so people get to know you a bit more.
My background is I'm a personal trainer. I'm an online coach. Most importantly, I'm a Boro fan. My job. That's the most important. Forget my job. Forget anything else. I'm a Middlesbrough fan. That's all that matters. But yeah, I'm a personal trainer, online coach, and That's me basically, but we're all here for the same reason because we support the Boro. That's all that matters.
That's it.
All that
And, you know, if we're going to break down this season, we have to go from, you know, July time, June, July time.
the very start, mate. We need to go from the very, very start. We need to go from the appointment first. Let's talk about the appointment. Let's talk about the appointment.
Yeah, Jonathan Woodgate. I mean, I found out in the December that he was getting the job, and he was 20-1 in the bookies. A few people I know had 10 quid on it, so a few of them thanked me for obviously winning big money. You know what I mean? But I found out in the December that, you know, Jonathan Woodgate was in the job. I couldn't obviously speak about it because it wasn't really my place to put it on, you know,
of course, yeah. I
what
think
was
a lot
your
of
thoughts and views when Woodgate was coming in?
See, I thought he would, based on the money. Do you remember that with the whole Pulis thing, it was always money. You know, there was constant talk about money. The club's lost money. We need to save money. So it was always about money. Woodgate was the easy option. But the thing that disappointed me was, why were we interviewing the likes of the ex-Fulham manager, what's his name, Stankovic? Why were we interviewing him? Why were we saying we're interviewing him? Why were we saying we were going to speak to Chris Stewart? And why were we saying Mike Phelan? What was that about? Do you know what I mean? Because they knew all along they were going with Woodgate. But now let's Mike Phelan, for example, because he was in the betting odds at one point. You know, like I know somebody who knows Mike Phelan on a personal level from where I'm from, and they said to me that he is literally the reason United were as good as they were with Fergie. He used to run all the training, everything. You know, it was Mike Phelan's go-to, and Fergie was in the background. Then you had the ex-Fulham manager who got an interview, who would have done wonders. Do you know what I mean? We all wanted him. Remember when that all came out? Middlesbrough in talk. Everyone wanted him. What I don't understand is why were the fans given false hope about managers that could have done something when all along you knew it, I knew it, Gibson knew it, we were going to go with Jonathan Woodgate. Made no sense to me whatsoever. And then my issue was, so you see, you've got like Lampard, Solskjaer, you've got Gerrard. They've all got assistants, and their assistants are older, experienced managers that they can get something from. Do you understand what I mean? So Woodgate was thrown under the bus straight away. I mean, Robbie Keane, he probably doesn't even have his badges. The guy probably doesn't even have badges. So when so Rangers have got so Solskjaer's got Phelan and Carrick. Gerrard's got McAllister. Jonathan Woodgate, who's a complete amateur, had Robbie Keane, who's probably not got a badge. So straight away, when things go wrong, who's he got? What advice can Robbie Keane give someone that he can say, well, do you know what? When I was at Spurs, Harry Redknapp used to tell me to just put the ball in the net. That's no use to Woodgate. So he got thrown under the bus straight away.
Yeah, that's true.
He got thrown, as where these other young managers like Mike Phelan can help Solskjaer, McAllister can help Gerrard. Who was there to help Woodgate? Leo and Robbie Keane. It was never going to work. There was no maturity. There was no experience. There was nothing. What Woodgate done, as much as I was glad he left, he done well under the circumstances. If you look at that squad and then look who he had to work with, he didn't actually do too bad. Do you know what?
Matty's left a few comments in there which are pretty good. He said something about, he said it's a job for the boys. And I completely agree there. That's exactly what it was, the job for the boys. Woodgate came in. Danny Coyne came in with him, along with Leo and Robbie Keane. I mean, Leo, for me, as much as I love him because he's like a fan. Yeah. I don't love him because he's got a coaching badge.
That's like me or you being there. Doesn't make sense. There's no logic.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You know what I mean? It's like it was just the cheap option because because Gibson came out and said, look, I'll never allow the fans to be in a position like Bolton. Do you know what I mean? He wanted to make us stable. And he was going out on a limb and saying, right, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for the cheap option, and there's no way we're going to go down. That was his thinking process. You know, when they got you know, when they're all in the interview, when it all got unveiled, you know, this is a building process, you know, we're not expecting much. He basically thought, you know what, this is cheap. This is the cheap option. Financially, it's going to make the club better. And we'll finish probably about 12th. That was his thought process. But then Jonathan Woodgate probably won't end up being a bad manager. But with Robbie Keane and Leo next to him, I mean, I'd get better help from my dog and my parrot. Do you know what I mean?
It's true. I mean, for me, you know, looking at Woodgate's sort of time at Middlesbrough, would he have done better with a Warner next to him? I think maybe he would have done. If he would have had one next to him.
If you go back on our conversations, I've actually spoke to you about that halfway through the season, saying someone like Warnock would be brilliant for Woodgate. Even Pulis switching roles with Woodgate. Even Pulis switching roles. Do you know, going, right, I'm going to sit at the back. I'm going to be a director of football or an assistant, and you can do. Do you know, if they switch roles, it would have helped Woodgate. And then the signings he's made, I mean, that didn't exactly help him, did it? I mean, there was no. If you look at our squad now, I mean, and Gibson's just lucky. He's very, very lucky, because to change a manager with 8 games to go is just that was almost suicidal. Do you know what I mean? Suicidal. I mean,
he needs. Yeah. For me personally, sorry to interrupt you there, but for me personally, when we got beat by Leeds 4-0 in November, I said to everybody I knew then, it's time for him to leave, and it's time for somebody to come in. Exactly. At the start of the season, I know obviously Warnock was whereabouts he was, but I wanted him at the start of the season, Warnock, because you know his track record speaks for itself. With he's the only manager in the Championship to have the most promotions out of any other manager in the
most successful manager in Championship football history. End of. That's the end of it. It's not up for discussion. Fine. I get people on Twitter all the time giving me shit, and I say, well, okay, well, find me a better manager. Find me a better Championship manager. I'll wait as long as you want. And they say, well, he's 71. Yeah. Okay, so you wouldn't take Gus Hiddink, who's 74, and they're like, oh, well, that's a good point. Of course you'd take Gus Hiddink. Mm-hmm. He's 71. He's fitter than managers that are older than him. He looks fit as a fiddle, and he knows the league inside out. And I'm sick to death of Middlesbrough fans being fickle and deluded and saying, do you know what? We need a manager. We need to play exciting football. With who? With Marvin Johnson and fucking and George Saville. How are you going to play exciting football?
It's true. I mean, I've read some of the comments here. Sorry about your thing bouncing all over. James123 said, I personally think Woodgate was gifted with a good squad. The squad could have easily been a lot worse. What's your opinions on that comment?
It was too unbalanced for me. I think there's a lot of talent in the squad. Like, for me, Middlesbrough have got one of the best, minus our defence, we've got one of the best squads in the league in terms of player for player. Look at Britt's record at Forest. Look at even Britt's record for us. Fletcher, McNair. McNair was at Man United.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've got some top players. Johnny Howson. Do you know what I mean? Saville was at Millwall, was a great player. Player. Clayton at Huddersfield was a great player. He just got converted to a defensive midfielder when he was one of the best attacking midfielders in the league. But the squad had no balance. So I agree with him in saying we had a good squad, but a squad needs balance and it needs a spine. And Warnock's finally come out and said it, because realistically, we know what sort of players we're going to sign now, because he's got rid of Makudi. And he's a top defender. He'll be
last night. He played last night in the French Cup.
he will be at a much better and bigger club than Middlesbrough next season, but he is your stereotypical 2020 centre back, and Warnock wants your traditional old school centre back. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with.
I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But first of all, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I've heard yesterday somebody jumped on Instagram Live and said apparently Warnock's been told to go on holiday and to make a decision when he comes back to whether or not he wants a Boro job. Now, if that's true, and me and you, and I'm sure every other Boro fan inside the country wants obviously Warnock here full time at Middlesbrough. I mean, that's what everybody wants.
Well,
It'd be
surprisingly,
interesting
mate,
to see what kind of signings he brings in.
You'd think that, but you know what? The amount of times I see on Twitter, fickle fans saying, "No, he's old. He's this. He's that. I want this manager and that manager." I'm like, what have they done? Yeah, but they play exciting football. How many Boro fans in the comments right now, right? And be all honest, if you think I'm wrong here, would you rather us play boring football and get 3 points every week, or play exciting football and finish mid-table? Because
True. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's like going back to the Pulis era when Boro finished 7th. Everyone's saying this football. You go, yeah, but if it comes down to a results business, then Pulis didn't actually do too bad of a job.
And it's a results business. At the end of the day, no one was complaining when we got promoted with Karanka.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play exciting football, but we got promoted, so everyone was buzzing. And then I keep hearing, well, I'd rather us get a manager that's going to be long-term. We play exciting football. And I wouldn't mind a few seasons, finishing 12th or 14th. Hold on, we're Middlesbrough Football Club. Who are you talking to, 12th or 14th? We should
exactly, mate. Yeah.
12th or 14th. You're happy with 12th or 14th? I'm absolutely embarrassed that we're in the position we're in. We should be we're a Premiership club in the Championship, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
Look at the stadium. Look at the passion of the fans. Look at the training facilities.
Look at the chairman. Look at the chairman alone.
Exactly. Even I've got friends, because obviously from where I'm from, the support loads of different teams. They all say Middlesbrough's a Premiership club. What are you doing down there? Middlesbrough a Premiership club, and people are saying, well, I'd rather an exciting manager and finish 12th or 14th. Well, all the best to you, mate, because I'd rather my squad, my team that I love, win and get playoffs or get promoted. I don't care if it's 1-0 every week. I do not care if it's 1-0 every week. We get a draw. We play at 10 men at the back. As long as we win and we've all got something to celebrate about, who cares? Who cares if it's exciting football? Pep Guardiola couldn't make our squad play exciting football because we don't have the players. That's a fact.
That's true. I mean, if we go through, you go, mate.
Sorry, you broke up there, mate.
No, I'm saying carry on.
No, you broke up. I couldn't hear what you said.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, if we're going to break down each month, because we have spoken a little bit about the manager side. And listen, people out there, Joe's got a lot on his mind about the Boro. I said before, he's a very, very passionate Boro fan. And Joe's a lot to get off his chest really about the Boro, really. So, I mean, if we're going to go through each month, I'll be completely honest with you. In the month of August, I thought we were going to smash it. I'll be completely honest. We went to Luton away, and obviously, listen, I went to Luton 7.5 hours just to get there. When we come out of them, we draw 3-all. Other fans are celebrating some concourses because we just drew a Luton.
I agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I thought from August, I was devastated that we got the draw. But I thought, you know what? I said, we played well there. We played some good football. We looked like we played the football that Woodgate was saying he was going to play. And I was thinking, do you know what? We're going to do this.
That was exciting. It was exciting football.
It was. But then every other game, do you know what he reminded me of? It's very Gary Monk-esque. Never knew what formation. He never knew what 11. Yeah. When something went wrong, he never stuck to, if we were beat by a better team, that doesn't mean you change your whole squad or your whole philosophy. Do you know what I mean? And he always would, he never stuck to, he never had the same game plan. He sort of would, right, we lost, we need to change everything. You can just lose a game of football. That happens. Everyone loses a game of football. Do you know what I mean? If Liverpool lose a game of football, they still set up the exact same the next game.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We're gonna get beat. We're gonna get beat. We're gonna win games. We're gonna lose games. He never had that same, like, we never played the same football again after Luton, which was very bizarre. But the month of August, I agree with you 100%. I thought, do you know what? We're gonna smash this. I reckon we might even do it. And people were saying to me, nah, no chance, no chance. And I was giving it the big one. You know, I go to a big social club with a lot of football fans, and obviously I'm the only Boro fan, and I'm giving it the massive one. I'm saying, do you know what? We're going up. We're going up for sure. You know, and then from August, to be fair, I don't really think we need to really go month by month. I mean, feel free to go month by month, but I think it all went downhill from August until that little run in December. Personally, I mean,
I think it was a cup game that did us the most. It's literally second game of the season. The cup game against Crew.
Oh,
get played for Park, by the way, by a League Two side. Second game of our new season. You play Crew, you 2-0 down at half time.
Mate,
but we're playing one of our strongest 11s.
Honestly, mate, I was playing a snooker match that night. I nearly snapped my cue. Just not because of the snooker game, because of the football. I was done completely. You know how angry I get about it. You know how passionate I get about it. That was me. I was never watching football ever again. It was so embarrassing. It was just so embarrassing. That was for me. That was
terrible. Like,
it was just. I mean,
that's the game of the season. And then next game, there are 15,000 fans on the other side.
I mean, do you know that just shows where our club's gone, though, eh? Do you know when you say like 15,000 at the Riverside? It's mental. It's mental. It's just like, and that's why I was so happy.
Mate, it's like, yeah. It was kind of like I was talking to somebody before, you know, about the Boro, and myself and everybody else. I'm sure gets emotional about the club and everything else, but I was saying, look back 15 years ago from literally from now. Like Boro just won a Carling Cup, and Boro were in Europe 15 years ago.
Mate, I remember crying my eyes.
A packed out stadium.
Do you know it's?
Do you know what I'm saying? And that was only 15 years ago. Boro had gone to Cardiff for a trophy first time in 128 years. We were in Europe playing against Sport in Lisbon, and who else we play? Obviously, play Sevilla in the final. We play Steaua Bucharest. We play Basel.
Do you know
who Mo Salah once played for?
Do you know what blows my mind as well? Is that Seville team that we lost to? They were the best team in the world at that point. Do you remember they absolutely spanked Barcelona in the Super Cup? They had their team at that time was unbelievable, and I remember the disappointment for all of us. It was a horrible time, but we're playing the best team in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And in the UEFA Cup final, like they're saying, a small town in Europe. Some people don't even know where Middlesbrough is.
That's true. Yeah.
And yet we're playing the best team in the world at the time in the UEFA Cup final. And it's just like, and that's why people like me and you get so frustrated, because, and I'm sure all the people in the comments are the same, because we know what could be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know what could be. Yes, we're not big spenders. Yes, we haven't got the money to spend money. But it's like you say, we were there, and that was 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And then, I mean, I get when our fans say, "Oh, well, we're linked with a League Two player. We're linked with this," because we used to sign Mark Viduka, Jimmy Hasselbank. But you've got to remember, you wouldn't be upset if we signed the Jamie Vardy, would you?
Exactly, mate. Yeah, I mean, I looked at this signing that apparently we're getting Wesley from Toulouse over in France.
Was he the
plays in league
defensive midfielder?
No. This guy's like an attacking winger called Wesley Saeed or something. He's called.
I haven't even seen that, mate. So you've got one over me there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a comment here. Someone actually agrees here. Matty Groves has said, "No, Joe, you're exactly right. That was our biggest problem with Woodgate. He would never stick to the same 11, no matter what. I don't think he did it once. Different team formations every week. Even when going well, he would change."
Correct, mate. Absolutely correct. You're 100% right. And do you know what? And I'm one of them people, you know me, mate. If somebody doesn't agree with me, that's completely fine. So if you don't agree with what I'm saying in the comments, you just say it and then we can debate. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason. And it's kind of hard to review a season. I was thinking about it on the way home and I was thinking, really, what is there to review? Because apart from August and a 4-win streak in December, we were absolutely terrible. Like,
yeah, no, it's true. It's
I
true. I
mean,
mean, I remember that month of December, and that
I wish it
realistically
never
on
happened.
paper, well, that month of December, I dreaded. I remember going to Swansea getting beat 3-1 and thinking, boys, this is going really bad. And then all of a sudden, we go to Forest and get a draw. Go to Preston, you beat them. I remember going to West Brom and beating West Brom. They were unbeaten for months.
Well, that was unbelievable. I'll give you that. That was good times, mate. That was very good times.
But then what happened after the Preston result? After the Preston game, he goes and swaps the team around, and all of a sudden we can't beat Derby, we can't beat Blackburn. I mean, we drew to Birmingham 1-1, and one of the worst night games I've ever seen.
Mate, that's what I mean. And it was about changing the team. It all stems back from the Luton game. The very start, he just changed his team. And again, because he's getting advice from a nobody, who can he look to in that? Who can he look to and say, right, what should we do here? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like he needed, and I'm not slagging Jonathan Woodgate off because he was passionate. He loves the club, but imagine he had a Warnock next to him. Do you know what I mean? Imagine he had someone like that to him. Maybe he could have been good, but he was changing the team because he knew no better and he didn't have anyone around him to help him. Robbie Keane couldn't manage my school football team.
You know, I heard a story about Robbie Keane, and I don't know how true it is, so don't quote me on this. But also, big up to Rob there, ex-Brother fan cameraman, just said top show, lads. Thanks, Rob.
Cheers, mate.
I heard a story of Robbie Keane before that apparently he would fly back to his house in London, okay, straight after the matches, by the way, on the Saturday or the Tuesday, and then he turned back up on a Friday night ready for the game on the Saturday.
I've heard it exactly the same thing. Exactly the same.
That's true. I'm worried to who on earth was coaching our strikers because at the time we had Leo, who is apparently a goalkeeping coach, Danny Coyne, who's also a goalkeeping coach, and Jonathan Woodgate, who's trying to coach the full team, and then you've got Britt and Fletcher just stood there going, yeah, but who on earth's teaching us?
Mate, you're 100, and I've heard that numerous times. I've heard people inside the club say that he had no passion, he never had a smile on his face, it meant nothing to him, he was doing it to help a friend out. I mean, do you know what? And I don't care if any of you dislike him, somebody explain to me how Ashley Fletcher has improved so much as a player when we've had the worst season ever with no striking coach, with no nothing. He has improved so much in the worst season ever. And
can I just say, well, I don't know again, I don't know if you've seen a stat on Twitter earlier on about Britt Sonbalonga or Matt Viduka. Britt's hit the same amount of goals.
Yeah, I know. I did see it, mate, but you can forget that. Let's not compare them two. Come on.
I was about to say, there's no way in this world you can compare Viduka's career to Britt Sonbalonga. Viduka, for me, Viduka was one of the best strikers I've seen growing up. And
he's one of the best strikers to ever play Premiership football. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's the silliest stat I've ever read in my life. I remember I read it today and then I read the comments and I thought to myself, if we had Mark Viduka, even with Jonathan Woodgate, we would have won the league. Just Mark Viduka.
Yeah, mate, 100%. 100%.
I couldn't believe it. People comparing Britt to thing. And then people asking me, Joe, who would you rather keep at the club, Britt or Fletcher? I'd keep Fletcher every day of the week.
Yeah,
every day of the week. Simply because He's improved so much. He wants to be there. I've wrote a few things down about players and about who I think we should keep, who we shouldn't keep, and the reason why I think Britt might go.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's got a year left on his contract, right? He could give us a Rudy Gusted situation, and we make no money off him. I mean, we paid 15 million for him. If we get 5, I'd be impressed. Do you know what I mean? I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
We ain't getting 15 back, but for me, I'd keep Fletcher every single day of the week. Britt does, they say, work hard, but Jordan Hugo worked hard. Jordan Hugo worked extremely hard. Do you know what I mean? Yes, Britt does score goals, but Fletcher scores goals. Do you know what I mean? There's more. Our problem isn't our strikers. Our problem is the rest of our team. Because at the end of the day, we've got 2 good strikers. Oh, mate, we haven't had
It's
service.
service to the strikers that we fall down from.
But you know what?
We have Ravel Morrison, who is.
Oh, don't get me started on that because I'm going to end up ranting big time. What on earth are we not playing him for? Honest to God. I've never.
If he's so. The thing I couldn't understand, the thing that I still can't understand now about Ravel Morrison is we bring in Ravel Morrison, Boro fans and football fans that actually have a clue, have a rave over it and go, okay, well, if he's one of the best technical attack midfielders, as said by Rooney and Lingard and
Alex Ferguson.
Why are we not seeing it?
So this is my point, right? Alex Ferguson, Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, and Rio Ferdinand all said, and none of you can prove me wrong here, he was better than Cristiano Ronaldo. He was better than Wayne Rooney. He was the best footballer Sir Alex Ferguson had ever seen. And Rio Ferdinand said he used to take the absolute mick out of everyone in training. He was the best talent he'd ever seen. So let's just say his attitude isn't the best. Let's just say that, for example, which we don't know. We do not know, right? Even if that's the case, he's still got to be one of the best players in the championship and certainly one of the best players at our club. How was he not getting a game? Someone explain that to me. I don't get it. How was he not getting? I think he played like 90 minutes combined. There's no way someone with that ability, regardless of their attitude, is not good enough to play for Middlesbrough Football Club when we're in the relegation zone. There's no way. It doesn't make any sense.
It's true.
Unless he punched Woodgate and Warnock in the face in the middle of training, or started texting one of their girlfriends or wives, then there's no reason he shouldn't be playing for our club. And that's the end of the story.
That's true. I mean, you mentioned about your notes there about the players that you want to see and want to come out with the club, etc. Rail them off. Rail them off.
Right. So, these are the ones potentially I want to see us maybe bring in, right? So I've gone
go ahead.
Free agent, Angel Gomez, Man United, 19 years old, attacking midfielder. And obviously I've got a lot of Man United fans. Now, this one for me, and I do not know anyone can slag him off, 33 years old, free agent, one of the best clean sheet records ever in the Premier League, Joe Hart, 33 years old.
I've been saying it myself. I've been saying it. Yeah, I'm the same as you. I've been saying it. Bring him in.
Are you joking me? I couldn't believe. And fans are like, no, he's rubbish. Have you seen Dejan? Jesus Christ! Don't even get me started.
So true, man.
Mate, you seen the nick of my hip flexor when I was over in Boro. I could barely move. I'm a better keeper than him. He's shocking.
Mate, it's so true. Like Joe Hart, there. How on earth is he bench warming, man? He's like, he was England #1 for I don't know how many years. He played at the top level for a top team, under a top manager for long years as well. How he's not playing for the
and nobody's even trying to sign him. Nobody's even trying to sign him is what I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, get him straight away. Even that Artur Boruc from Bournemouth, 40 years old, goalie, 40 years old, experience, can help pairs. But for me, Joe Hart's got to be, if he wants to play every game, I'll pay some of his wages, no problem. Just
well, Mike just said that. Mike just said, yeah, but what about the wages that Joe Hart would be on? Well, I don't know how much wages he'll be on.
He's a free agent now, mate. He's a free agent, and he hasn't got much. He hasn't got many people looking at him, so he isn't in the position to start dictating wages. Had we been buying him from a club, then I would say, yeah, I agree with you. But he isn't getting a game at Burnley. He isn't getting a game anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I think we could work around that, mate. Plus, if we've got rid of Gusted, I believe we're probably going to get rid of Britt. Do you know what I mean? And we need a spine. We need a good goalie. We need a centre back. We need this. And I'll get to that. But these are just players that we've been linked with. So that Keffer Moore, is the Wigan striker that Warnock wants. So he's 6'5".
But I can tell Kiefer Miller, he's on his way to Millwall.
Is that legit though? Is that legit? Yeah.
It's apparently that's the thing. I don't know myself, Joe, but apparently a £1.8 million bid has been accepted, and apparently he's going to Millwall.
Oh, see, now I read yesterday night that someone else was offered 2 million, and Millwall's got rejected, and I believe it was maybe QPR.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that. So Josh Lauren, remember I said the 25-year-old that we were linked with from Shrewsbury, that's a free agent.
It looks very exciting player, mate.
Right, now like I said to you, one of my mates played with him at Shrewsbury and said he's an absolute general. He's a boss. Like really good, solid young midfielder, just a general in the midfield, and he said he's a great guy as well. You know what I mean? That's a personal perspective. I'm not going to sit here and say I know a lot about him because I don't. And then obviously you've got Chris Gunter. We know Warnock wants Chris Gunter. 31 years old.
Yeah, veteran.
What is he? He's a right back, ain't he? But he can play. He can play right and left back.
Play in the midfield, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he can play everywhere. He can play everywhere across the back line. I'd take him 100%, and we'll go on to our defenders and where I think. And then for me, who I'd take 100%, and if you're a big football fan, you would have watched him at West Ham and you would have seen him against United. You'd have seen him when he played. Reece Oxford, 21 years old.
Mate, he's so underrated, that guy.
Oh, mate, I'm so glad you just said that. I'm so glad. My mate.
No, but the thing is, he's so underrated. He had to go to Germany to try and make a name. Like, he is so good.
Mate,
Reece Oxford, good.
One of my best mates, Steve's a West Ham fan, and he said he's absolutely class. He said defensive midfield or centre-back. He said, I know everyone says play him as centre-back, but as a defensive midfielder, he's an absolute boss. Do you remember when he played against United?
He's class, mate, Reece Oxford. Yeah, he's wicked.
Boss United. And I'm like, he's 21 and nobody wants him. And we need a defensive midfielder. I'm like, he's unbelievable. And he's just sitting around. He's 21 years old. And I'm like,
yeah, it's true, mate. Yeah, it's true. It's sick.
It's, and you've got people, and then somebody like Warnock can help people like that. Warnock doesn't take any. I'm not saying he's got a bad attitude, but Warnock doesn't take any, BS off anyone. So he can help improve people like that. Do you know what I mean? Because we need a spine, but we also need some young players. Do you know what I mean? And then
I think, yes, I agree. I think in the year we went up, we had that spine, Dimmy, Ayala, and we had Leadbitter and the strikers. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, everyone like Warnock's come out and said all the right things. I cannot fault him, mate. I cannot fault him at all. Come out and said all the right things. I mean,
Yeah.
Even people with like, do you know who else I'd take back as well? And I've said it to you already. I'd take back Mo Besic tomorrow. I'd take him back tomorrow, and I would take Jordan
You
Hughes.
should be our scout, Joe, because like the players that you tell me about, they come to Boro and they're unbelievable. So I reckon you should get your TV in, mate. Because I tell you now, man, you've told me about 5 or 6 Boro players that have come in on loan or say Boro have signed them, and I've been like, do you know what it is? He's sick. Joe told me he was going to be sick, and Joe was right once again.
Yeah. I remember the Besic one, and you were like, "Oh, I'm not sure." I said, "Trust me, he's going to be class." And you were like,
"Mate, I linked at Derby away, you know, and he scored the first goal against Derby, man. It went mental."
I remember it really well.
Mate, that was crazy stuff.
So I'd take Mo Besic back tomorrow, and I'd sign him, and I'd keep him, and I'd play him every game, not just move him around. You know, he was in, he was out, he was in, he was out. And do you know what the scary thing was? Is our fans are like, do you remember they didn't want him, and they were like, no, we've got Lewis Wing. For starters, him and Lewis Wing play completely different styles of football. They don't. They're completely different.
The only thing about Mo Besic, and this is why I wouldn't take him back, right? This is the only reason why. When he came back that second year, he had a chip on his shoulder, and he didn't look like he was very interested in playing for us.
But you've got to ask yourself, why was it? Why? You know, there's a reason that somebody gives 100% one season, and then the following season. Remember, the second season he was in and out the team a lot more. Do you remember our fans were saying you'd get one good game out of Besic and he'd go to Superior for 6, which was true. But maybe 3 of them he wasn't playing. Do you know what I mean? And he wasn't doing a lot wrong to be taken out of the team. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was doing something wrong. It was like he was just being taken out of the team. And it must be frustrating for someone that wants to prove a point. I mean, he was no angel. We've got a lot of players that we all love that aren't an angel for the club. Do you know what I mean? But and the same thing with Hugo. I mean, for me, no matter what now. So if we get rid of Britt, regardless, say we keep Britt, we still need another striker. And if we don't, we need 2 strikers.
Yeah.
We need somebody. You know, a big target man that works hard, a bit of passion, a bit of, you know, no matter what, it meant more to him than anything. It meant Jordan Hughes, it meant the world to him to be wearing the Middlesbrough shirt. And like you say, in all your reviews, you just want somebody that loves the club, gives 100% for the badge. And
that's it, mate. That's all it is. It's like, say if Boro do the game, but like, say if the players give 50%, mate, nothing upsets me more. And it's more so upset emotion. Like when I kick off, I don't kick off for attention. I kick off because I'm genuinely devastated because you never gave 100% for my football club.
Exactly. It doesn't mean much to you, mate. Mate, I cry, mate. I kick things across the room. I don't want to go out for the weekend. I don't want to speak to people. People are like, it's pathetic. It's only a game. And I'm like, I'm just going to never speak to you again now because you said that. You don't understand what it means.
That's true.
I'm just going to block you on Facebook and never talk to you again. You might think it's funny. To me, it's everything. It's absolutely everything.
Of course, mate.
I'd miss
people's
birthdays. I'd miss. Do you know what I mean? I'd probably miss my wedding if we were playing in a cup final. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
100%, mate.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, and then the 2 most important signings, we're going to go. The second most important signing we need to make is Ben Gibson. Is the second most important signing Middlesbrough need to make.
We need him. We need him back because we need that. You know what I mean? We sort of need that leadership at the back. I think Dale Fry's struggling.
Dale Fry
looks really good when he next to give up.
Dale Fry's not good enough to play for our club, in my opinion. I think people keep giving him. He's still young. He's been playing now for 4 or 5 seasons. Don't give me that. And then I keep hearing this. Well, he plays again. He's always got a different, defensive partner. Yeah, that shouldn't affect your own individual mistakes, though. Do you know what I mean? For me, the loss was Daniel Ayala, because if we had Gibson back, Fry wouldn't be in that team. and that's my opinion. If we kept Diala and we got Gibson back, I mean, Fry, he's one of our own, and we always support them, and we're very passionate. He is not. I mean, we got offered 9 million for him. If we get offered 5 million for him now, you take it 100% because he's had his chance.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah,
He's had his years of right. If Fry's young, he's just coming up. He's just doing this. How many times does he make the same mistakes? He's just and then we're getting linked. Then we're getting offered silly money for him, and we're like, oh no, sorry, no, we're not. If somebody said to me now they want Fry and you can have Gibson, I'd fly to Middlesbrough and I'd drive Fry to Burnley, and then I'd swim back to Jersey. Like,
it's true.
it's
Yeah. I mean, I'll just read this comment quickly, Joe. Someone sent in a good comment here. It's Rob again. He said, "Do you think the club is struggling to stay afloat financially?
no,
We're not offering any contract extensions.
no,
And getting a free manager in just so we can. It's just so we're getting a free manager in just so we see the season out.
no,
They're going to administration next season." He said.
no.
Or do you think we're being tight so we can scrape through the FFP as we are now at the end of the 3-year cycle?
Well, as far as I'm aware, the 3-year cycle ends now, and I've read 4 different things that said Middlesbrough are currently one of the most stable clubs in the league. So, oh fuck, am I there? Am I there?
Yeah.
We're as far as I'm aware and what I've read is based on what he's done since we've gone down, selling the players, making the money on Adama, selling Gibson, the whole Woodgate thing. As far as I'm aware, I think we're one of the most stable clubs in the league. I'd have to send you what I've read, but as far as I'm aware, as it stands, we're one of the most financially stable clubs in the league. So I don't think it's got anything. We definitely won't be anywhere near administration, and that's why we've done what we've done. We've got rid of the players. We've gone with a cheap option with Woodgate, and we're doing what we're doing because we were in a position where we could be in trouble. And as far as I'm aware, we're financially one of the most stable. Now that doesn't mean we're going to be spending loads of money, because you can't do that in the Championship. But as far as I'm aware, and any of you can follow me on my social media or whatever, and I'll be able to send you what I've read. But I believe we're one of the most stable clubs now financially, based on, because I believe the 3 years ends after this season. The 3-year turnover. I could be wrong; it might be next season. But currently, I believe we're one of the most stable anyway. What I just think it is he's seeing teams like Wigan, like Derby, like Wednesday, like Bolton, and thinking, I'm not willing to put my club and my fans and my town in that position. And we might all say, give him a hard time, but Steve Gibson would never let us rot away. He'd never let us rot away. I think it's more safety than anything.
No, of course not. Of course not. He loves us too much to do that.
I think it's more safety than anything else, and we get frustrated. But don't be shocked if we spend a decent amount of money. We sell a few players on, and then we make a decent amount of money. And the people I would get rid of, now here's where the drama kicks in.
Yeah.
So Marvin Johnson, he's got to go.
He's my boy. Go on.
No, I like him. I like him a lot. But he's on good money.
Yeah.
He's a left winger. He's not. He can't defend for Tottenham.
That's the thing. And that's the most annoying thing when Boro fans sort of go at him after the match and go, yeah, but he had a rubbish performance. You go, yeah, but
he's a class left winger. He's a class left winger, but he's not a defender. Did you see that? Did you see him send the Sheffield Wednesday winger down the line? He actually sent him down the line on Wednesday night. He allowed him to send. And I'm thinking, that is the work. You learn that when you're in school, when you're like 12. Never let someone go down the line. You take the line and let them try and pass you. And then, so he's a class winger, but then you have to ask yourself, right, who do we get rid of? Marvin Johnson or Hayden Coulson? It's one of them.
You got to keep Hayden. I think Hayden's got such a bright future at the Boro. And every time he plays, it's exciting to watch.
That's my point. Neither of them are going to want to be on the bench. Neither of them are defenders. I don't care what anyone says about Coulson. He's not a defender, and he's certainly not
He's left winger.
He's not a Neil Warnock style defender either. So if he plays, he's going to play as a winger.
True.
So for me, as much as I like Johnson, I don't think he's that happy at the club anyway. You hear things from him and his missus and blah, blah, blah. But then I feel like if he stays, Coulson's going to be the one affected. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather keep.
I don't think we're in a position to even let him go, because I look at him, I look at Tavernier, I look at Spence, and I think them three they're our future. You know what I mean? Like, they are our future.
100%, mate. 100%.
Someone's asked you a question here, Joe. Matty Groves actually addressed the question to you here and said, Joe, thoughts on recruitment this year and over the years, joke, isn't it? Is it Bowser out?
Wait there, sorry, say that again, Matt. I literally missed all of that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matty Groves has asked you, Joe, thoughts on the recruitment this year and over the years, joke, isn't it? Bowser out.
Oh my God, 100. It's not even up for debate, is it? Really, 100%. You're 100% right, but we know that's not going to happen. So we can't. It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, that should have happened a long time ago, but it's not going to happen. The recruitment has been a joke. But the only positive is I feel Warnock, even if he doesn't stay on as manager, based on interviews he's made, the Gazette have made, he's going to have a big influence on who we sign, the way the club moves forward. And the recruitment's been terrible. I mean, terrible. I mean, we've got rid of players we should never have got rid of. We've signed players we should never have signed. I mean, and then we've got players like now. Here's a tricky one for fans, right? Jed Spence for me isn't a right back. He's not a right back. For me, he's not a right back. He's a right winger. Unless you play him in the wing back position.
Wing back position, yeah. I'd say he definitely plays in the wing back position.
And based on the last 3 games he's played, and based on Warnock's response and the way he spoke about him, Dyke Steele has been class since he's come back in the right back position. Yeah. Nobody can fault him.
He's done well. Yeah, he's done really well.
He's done well, and like Warnock came out and said he can play anywhere across the back for me, and he's done really well. Now, Dyke Steele will play a big part next season if Warnock's involved, 100%.
Yeah.
But what happens to Jed? Does he go as a right winger?
I think he's good as right. I think he's a right wing back. I know Tottenham want him, but if we sell him,
he's not nowhere near good enough to move to a club like that yet. He's got a lot of learning to do. He won't be going anywhere. I don't think us as fans need to worry about him going anywhere. He'll be at us for at least 2 to 3 seasons. I can't see him going anywhere personally, but I can't see him playing. I think Warnock will play with 4 defenders, 4 solid, a traditional centre backs, a right back, a left back. Do you know what I mean? And that's the only thing that concerns me for Jed is, does he then get moved into right wing? I hope he does, because I think he's not a Traore, but he breaks forward like Traore, not in the same level. But we're all looking for this winger, this we need this winger for delivery, blah blah blah. Let him be that winger. Let Dyke still be the right back, and let Jed not worry about. I need to, yes, he covers, but don't let him, let him go out and be a winger. Do you know what I mean? Rather than us spending money on this right winger that we've all been craving for years, let Jed do the job. Do you know what I mean? Let him grow into a right winger because
100%, yeah.
the same with Coulson. We're always looking. Middlesbrough have got no wingers. We've got no wingers. There's two young lads there that would give anything for the club who have turned out to be very good wingers. Do you know what I mean? It's like give them a chance. We need a proper left back. We've got a right back in Dyke Steel. We need a centre back, and we need Gibson. That's my opinion. And then the creative, we've all been searching for a Gaston since Ramirez left. We've all been searching.
That's true. And even when Lee Tomlin left, we were still on for Lee Tomlin, weren't we?
How good was Lee Tomlin, by the way? He's so
I'd take him back tomorrow, mate. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, he's class. I think.
I'd get him and go get Yelly Boston.
Oh, Yelly, what a boy Yelly was.
Someone said here, Matty Closer said Spencer's last year of his contract now.
Spencer's what?
Spencer's on the last year of his contract.
No, he's just re-signed.
I did think that.
No.
Let's go to another question a minute, Joe, because like I say, a lot of people getting involved tonight. So thanks very much for that, people out there, for the fans. He said, in my opinion, the issue is behind the scenes. Boro seems to be a very cliquey club, and if you do something wrong, you are cast aside. What's your opinions on that?
I'm not so sure, especially not under a manager like Neil Warnock. I think under Woodgate maybe so, but no, Warnock would not allow that under no circumstance, in my opinion. Again, I'm not here to tell people their opinions are wrong, but no, I don't think that. I don't think that under Pulis, and I don't think that under Warnock. I think they're two very powerful. Same with Aitor. I mean, we all were unhappy with the way he walked out at Charlton and the way he was, but that's because he wanted things done the way he did, and he felt let down by certain people. I think maybe under Woodgate that was the case, but I don't believe that will ever happen. And like I say, the number one signing for Middlesbrough Football Club in years and years is Neil Warnock. He's the most important signing. He's the most important.
Who else have you got on this there that you want to see come in?
Say that again, mate. Sorry.
Who else have you got written down that you want to see come in?
Do you know what, mate? I'll be honest with you. I want the Hart. I love Hart. I love Gunter. And then people like Gomez and Reece Oxford, they're all just like, I'm not even going to, they're just people that I see on the outskirts of teams that we could bring in. But like, you see people on Twitter and that, making their own teams. And, it's almost wishful thinking because Joe Hart, I can 100% see happening. Ben Gibson, I can 100% see happening. I could see Jordan Hugill. To be honest with you, I could see that. He's a, he's a big lad. He did well at QPR. He would play as a target man. I could see that. I mean, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I wouldn't be gutted about it. I wouldn't be devastated about it. But what we've all got to remember is Warnock's looking to stabilize the team. So we haven't got left midfielders and right midfielders in defence. We haven't. We need a spine. So we need to be like, it's almost like now as fans, we need to look at it as it's not what we want anymore. It's not what we want. It's what we need.
Yeah, I quite like the midfielder from Preston, the dreadlocks who plays in the midfield, and I can't think his name now. His name's actually gone. I think I can't remember what he's called. He's got the dreadlocks and he plays in midfield.
Yeah, Preston. I know you mean.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson.
I know you mean, but do you know what? With this Warnock thing, with this whole Warnock thing, and I do think he'll end up being our manager. I do think he will. I mean, and if not, he's going to have a big involvement. I kind of normally every season I do what, I write a list of players and I think, right, we're going to hope we get him. I hope we get him. But based on what he said and based on how he works, I think there's no point of us even guessing, because he's gonna the only likely candidate that we can all sit here and say he's probably coming back is Ben Gibson. I mean, because I can't tell you now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
do we really Gunter? So he likes Chris Gunter and Ben Gibson, but realistically, all we know is we're going to get some solid centre backs. We're going to get some solid fullbacks. We're going to get a solid midfielder, and we're going to get a big target man as a striker to play with.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Fletcher. And to be honest with you, for the first time ever, I don't really know who. I mean, because it's down to Warnock now, and he wants. And, people saying, oh, yeah, but blah, blah. He wants to stabilise the club. So we've got proper defenders, proper centre-backs, proper right-backs, proper midfielders, proper strikers. So when he does leave, the next manager that comes in has a proper squad to choose from, a balanced squad, so we can move forward. So, to be honest with you, as much as I'd love to comment here and say, I think we'll sign him, I can't do it this year, because I just think Warnock's going to buy what he thinks is
right. Yeah,
is right. And I think there'll be people that will go. I hope he puts Spence and Coulson on the wings.
Yeah.
I can't see Friend. If Friend stays, he'll be on a lot less money, and he'll be a substitute centre back. He'll be a substitute centre back. He'll never be a starter for us. Never. If he stays, he'll be on a lot less money, and so don't be shocked if Friend stays. Howson will stay. We all love Johnny Howson, best football player at the club without a shadow of a doubt. I've got a feeling either Savile or McNair will leave. One of them will leave. It just depends on who we'll get more money for, which I think.
That's true. I mean, just to finish up on the video, going forward, what's your prediction for next season for the Boro?
What do I really, really genuinely think?
Yeah, next season. If you have to give a prediction of next season, what are you seeing?
My prediction is Neil Warnock will come in, and we'll get the playoffs next season.
I love it. And if you have to rate the season just gone, how would you rate the season just gone out of 10?
Do you know what? I'd rate the season we've just gone as a 10, and you're going to say to me, what are you talking about? And the reason it's a 10 is because it's a miracle that we're in the league. So it has to be a 10. How are we still in the championship?
That's true. It's true.
That's why it's a 10.
Yeah.
That's why it's a 10.
Who was your last question? Answer the last question. And then after this question, we'll answer some questions from the public. Who was your player of the season? You have to pick one.
Oh. Between Howson and Fletcher for me.
My personally was Johnny Howson.
Yeah, it's got to be Johnny Howson. I mean,
I love his attitude, mate. He just plays anyway.
Howson or Fletcher. I think Fletcher done brilliant to improve in such dire circumstances. But Johnny Howson's the best football player at our club. Johnny Howson's the best football player at our club. And he played right back, he played centre back, he played defensive midfield, he played attacker midfield. And he was the best signing when he stayed on for another season, honestly, I went home and I nearly cried, I think, because I was like, We need him so
I was
much.
buzzing, yeah.
And I genuinely think when Neil Warnock, and like he's come out and said 5 or 6 new players, right? I genuinely think if he gets the job and gets 5 or 6 new players, we'll get in the playoffs next season. That's my prediction. I mean,
Matty Groves said that from now on, I need to get Joe on more. I need to get you on a few more live streams.
go on,
It's true,
Matty,
though. I mean, listen. Obviously, after this, I'll actually talk to you on Facebook and see if we can get a show going once a week or something.
Mate, 100%. 100%. Do you know what? I appreciate that as well, Matt. I said I don't do a lot of my background is bodybuilding, fitness, and blah blah, and all my YouTube stuff's all bodybuilding, fitness, and stuff like that. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And A.J.T will tell you, I'd give up my job, my fitness, and my bodybuilding, and I'd even give up this fucking suntan for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough Football Club is all that matters to me, mate. And it sounds,
That's it, mate.
After my family and after my mum and my dog, it means more to me than you'll ever know, mate. And so I'll happily come on. We'll do a weekly thing. We'll answer whatever you want.
Weekly thing. We'll get it sorted.
And you ain't gonna get. You ain't gonna get no. I'm gonna be angry some days. I'm gonna be happy some days, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush. But yeah.
Yeah. I think definitely. Yeah. I think definitely for the future. I think maybe do like a live review of the matches together.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Try and get a bit of phoning going.
Like I said to you,
mate. Joe, thanks for being on the channel.
No, mate, you're more than welcome. And it's more, like I said, this is more to help you than it is for me, mate. And I just love the Boro. Do you know what I mean? And it's an absolute pleasure. And we'll go through anything else. I just got a question for you. Who do you want to see at the club next season?
Yes, mate.
Who do you want to see at the club next season, and who do you want to go?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I definitely want to see a new goalkeeper come in, and I'd probably want to see a new goalkeeper come in for the help of Percy. I think they need some sort of older experience.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I definitely want to see a proper mucky, dirty defender come in for centre back.
Yeah,
someone like a Sean Morrison sort of type.
Next to Ben Gibson.
Exactly, mate. I like to see the attacking more inside the midfield. So definitely an attacking midfielder. Someone like a Junior Hoylett maybe coming for a bit of pace on the wings or something.
I like that.
The striker wise,
that's a huge possibility.
I think somebody sort of Fletcher, like you said there, a bit of a hold up player with a bit of pace on him. Somebody like. Who would I say I want? It's right. I would love to see Mitrovic in the Boro top. I would love to see him in the Boro top. I rate Mitrovic so highly. And for 25 million, I think he's well paid.
Tell you what, though, that Junior Hoylett shout you just made is a very big possibility. That, you know, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, well, Warnock loves him.
And he loves him. I didn't even think of that. That is, I'll tell you what, that's probably going to happen. That is a top shout from you.
Yeah, Junior Hoylett. He's a wicked baller, man. Like he's wicked.
And who's going? Who's going?
I've got to get rid of Dejan. He winds me up just looking at him.
Oh, mate, he winds me up. Something rotten.
I do think Dale's got to go, and if we can cash in on Dale and get some money for him.
I don't think Warnock likes him at all. I've never heard him say a good thing about him. He speaks more highly of Friend than Fry.
I think Friend, I think Friend might obviously go somewhere else now, depending on what I've got to do with him. But for me, George Friend, I'll bring him back after his playing days and put him definitely as a defensive coach.
100%. He gets it.
I'll probably obviously listen. Adam Clayton got rid of, of course, he's already gone. I think Britt. It's hard for me because listen, I do have a soft spot for Britt, so I'm gonna do.
I'm the same. I think he's one of the best strikers in the league by a mile.
Yeah. Actually, Paddy could be our main man. He's a great player. He could be our James Milner. Just needs to be more consistent. I love Paddy McNair. I think he's quality.
Oh, yeah, AJ, who told you about Paddy McNair when he signed, mate? Who told you
Yeah, I
about
remember you
Paddy?
telling me that one as well.
Yeah, do you
Yeah, I
remember me?
remember that.
You saying I'm not sure about Paddy McNair, 5 million from Sunderland. Then I messaged you saying, trust me, Paddy McNair, and you were saying, I'm not sure, mate, I'm not sure. And I've said, I promise
Yeah,
you.
I even made a video on the channel saying, "Oh, I don't know why nothing bought him for. It's gonna be rubbish."
Yeah,
Now
and
I absolutely love him. So
I
I
messaged
definitely have to
you
eat
saying,
my words out there.
I promise you, he's going to be class. Paddy McNair at the start of the season for us was potentially going to be player of the season. He was
Yeah.
brilliant. And going forward, he needs to play week in, week out, and he needs to play in the same position.
100%.
So I think Saville might be the one that leaves. I can't see Warnock getting rid of somebody like McNair, who's so versatile, who's so strong, who's so big, and who makes things happen. Do you know what I mean? I'd be happy with that for sure. 100%. But Britt.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I think Britt eventually got to stay, but for me, you know, it's all about the service. I'm seeing that this Wesley guy could come in.
But we need a
if we can
third
get
striker,
two
mate. We need a third
creative,
striker.
fast-paced wingers, we could be all right.
No, I know we need some fast-paced wingers, but tell me now, would you be happy with Coulson and Spence if we had an
I would
10?
be, but I'll tell you who we might get. Jamal Lowe from Wigan. They've gone down.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He doesn't want to be in League One. So it's a big possibility. He could come into the Boro.
Here's one for you, because I'll take that one. You can have that one, and I completely agree. One of the best players in League One since January. I'll tell you who he was. Marcus
Brown
was one of the best. He was one of the best players in League One from January. He was one of the best players in League One by a mile. Playing in the number 10 role, he was absolutely class. And I know he's playing League One. He played as a striker for them, but in the number 10 role, he was absolutely class.
Yeah.
That's someone else we've got to think about. He's still our player. Bowler's still our player as well. He's a better defender than Coulson. I mean, he isn't great, but he's still our player as well. You've got to think about these things. Marcus Brown was one of the best players in the League One last season once he left us. That's a fact. And if you go back and watch Oxford's games for anyone listening and watch how he played. Now, his problem was his discipline. Name me a better manager than Neil Warnock to discipline and help a player like Marcus Brown. You couldn't.
That's true.
Him in a number 10 role, just behind a Fletcher or a Britt, based on the last 6 months or 4 or 5 months, I wouldn't say no to that either, mate. To be completely honest with you, remember we're looking elsewhere, but you've got to look at what we've already got. And yes, he was a liability, but he's very quick. He's got ability. But when he was given a chance week in, week out at Oxford, yes, it's a league below. He was absolutely brilliant. And no Boro fan can watch him at Oxford and say, do you know what? I still don't like him because he was class. And every Oxford fan, their manager, everyone absolutely said he was class. He played as a striker for them. He was class. He played as a 10. Never played on the wing for them. Always played as a 10. And he was absolutely class. So we need to look closer to home sometimes as well as fans and not just think we need new this, we need new that. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, potentially he could come in and do a good job. And the discipline side of his game, I mean, Woodgate was friends with everyone. He probably gave him a hug when he got sent off and said, "Oh, no worries, mate." Warnock would slap him silly. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think he'd be a great. I mean, I'd 100% keep him. If he's not playing, I would definitely not get rid of him. 100% not get rid of him. I mean, I don't know about Bowler. What do you think about Bowler at left back?
I don't think Bowler was good enough.
No, I don't either.
I felt, you know what annoyed me the most is I felt like League One signings go and get your League One results, And that's what it seemed like after that month of January until Woodgate got sacked. That's what it kind of like, just messing about with League One sort of standards. I just want to read a comment a minute from Matty Groves who says, I rate Brown. Most Boro fans don't. He never got the chance to play in the preferred role. Yes, he needs to learn how to be complacent. But we have a great player in Brown. And then Top Phil says, I totally agree, Joe. Class play, possibly captain material.
I'm not sure about captain material, but I agree with both. What's the first lad called again that commented? Sorry?
What's that, sorry?
What was the first lad called that commented? Because he's commented a few times.
Matthew Groves.
Everything he said has been absolutely spot on. You know, I can't fault him.
Yeah.
Absolute Matty Groves. Fair play to you, mate. Everything you've said has been spot on. Do you know what that is, though, mate? And that's what me and A.J.T speak about a lot. Fickle Middlesbrough fans. Yes, we shouldn't be signing everyone from League One, but you can.
I don't know where it's gone, people. Joe has been disconnected by the way. Hopefully he comes back. There he is. Is he there? There he is. Yeah, you're back. Okay, we can't hear him. We can't hear him in a minute. You there, Joe? Yeah, we can't. I can't actually hear you at the moment. Is he gonna? What are you going? Joe, I can't hear you. I can see your mouth moving. Okay, so I guess you can hear me. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. See if I can do something my side. Yeah, Joe, I don't know what's going on here, but Joe, for some reason, I don't know if anybody else can hear him. I genuinely can't hear a thing from Joe's end. Okay, saying, all right, yeah, 2 minutes, no problem. Let's see what my on. Oh, but man, just wait here a second. Here he comes. Is he talking now? Talk now, Joe. For some reason, I can't actually hear what he's saying. My volume's all the way up as well. I just can't hear a thing that Joe is saying to us. There's nothing. This is such a shame. I genuinely can't hear what on earth you're saying to me. Try and leave and then try and join that link that I sent you again. Tell you what, let me try and clear you off the stream and say, oh, Joe. Okay, Joe, hit that link again that I sent you, and hopefully Joe will be back in. If he doesn't come back in, then I guess I have to end the stream. But hopefully Joe does come back in. It's been a good hour and 20 minutes about the Boro. Joe, if you're watching this, go on to Messenger and hit that link I did send you, and then of course rejoin the stream. Listen, this has been a good video. Everybody sort of took into it well. So thanks so much for the support on this one. Joe's back in. Okay, hold on, people. Add to the stream. Okay. Okay, right there. Hello, Joe? Oh, what? I can't hear you, man. I don't know what's going on. I genuinely can't hear a word you're saying. I can see your mouth moving. I just can't hear what you're saying to me. I don't honestly know what's going wrong here, people. I actually don't have a clue. Are you sure you haven't got me? Are you sure you haven't muted yourself? Have you muted yourself? Okay, we're having a problem here, people, connection-wise. Bless me. We have to just figure out what's going on Joe's end, and then as soon as we get him back, we get him back. But for right now, we can't hear it. And yeah, I don't know why. But in the meantime, people, go check out my links down below. Go get them followed. Right, Joe, is he right there? Private chat. Okay. It's all good, don't worry. It's annoying for you. I'll tell you what we'll do. Joe, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me end this one and then go on Instagram. Right? We'll do an Instagram one. Alright, so like I say, cheers to Joe for joining this one. 1 hour and 20. People, thanks so much for getting involved. Me and Joe 100% will definitely get a week show going. Well, 1 day a week, we'll definitely get it going. And let's say, come up to our Instagrams now. Joe Stewart is his Instagram. A.J.T. MFC is mine. We'll see you there, people. Peace out, cheers.